3 long days, some I don't know. It takes a little more than what you show, and that's yesterday. Yeah, yesterday.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Bobby Finn Knows Everyone. I am Bobby Finn. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you, Tom.
Hey, Bobby. Thanks for having me. Happy St. Patty's Day to you.
Yeah, awesome.
You got your nice green on. It looks awesome.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of funny is for the last, up until probably 10 years ago, we'd all get together, me and a bunch of buddies, and 8 o'clock in the morning, we'd go down this place called the Cloverleaf in Newport.
We're going there after this.
Going to go there after this, have a couple. But we'd get there at 8 o'clock, go downtown St. Paul. But the funniest part about it is we'd stop at this Hunan Garden. That was the first place we'd stop.
On St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, it's the farthest thing from Ireland, right? We'd get there, and there's a thing called the volcano. And the volcano has, it's this big cup, and in the middle it has 151 Bacardi.
Is it? And it's on fire.
And it's on fire.
Yeah.
So everybody gets a straw, right? And you just take it down. Next thing you know, now it's 9 o'clock, and I don't even know where the hell I am. So it's like all over the place. Now you're starting to stumble around, walking like the zombie pub crawl through downtown St. Paul all day long. I can't tell you how many times I was home before nightfall hit.
On St. Patty's Day.
On St. Patrick's Day.
Did you hit other bars while you're around on St. Patty's Day, or did you just like stumble around and then pass out at home?
No, we hit it. We made the tour around the whole city. Had a bunch of hot dogs from the vendors, and you just take, getting rides from the cops, all that stuff. But
getting rides from the cops. How about the Vulcans? Were they there, like making out with you?
Yeah, well, not with me, but everybody else, right?
How creepy is that?
It is super creepy. I don't get that.
I remember like I was at a parade with my mom when I was young, and the guy came up and like tried to kiss her and stuff, and I was like, sexual assault. I felt so weird about it. I'm sure I'm scarred for this day. He like black lipsticked her cheek, but I don't think they do that anymore. I think it's just like full on.
Something happened about 10 years ago or something.
Someone got molested.
Yeah, like violently.
Jeez.
Yeah,
it was that bad.
Well, I mean, where's bad? Where's the line? The Mendoza line. Right.
So how many Irish bars are there downtown St. Paul? Do you have any idea?
Off the top of my head, I don't know, but I'd say 6 or 7.
McGovern's? I don't know of any others.
I know, but I know they're there. I just don't remember the names.
How about the best Irish bar that I think I've ever been to?
Halftime Rack?
You got it.
Yeah.
College hangout of mine. Didn't matter if it was St. Patty's Day or not, but we'd always end up at Halftime Rack. I don't know why, because I didn't live by there. Stellar.
It is awesome. And they always had, the great Irish bands going. And then, you ever been in the basement?
Hell yes.
Oh my gosh.
Throw some bocce down there.
Yeah, you almost feel like skull and crossbones kind of thing, right?
Do they call it bocce in like Ireland, or is it a whole different game?
Not sure.
Is it like sand bowling or right? Because it's like a sand pit and you got the balls.
Right. I think it's bocce.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but
great bar.
Yeah, it is a great bar.
Better than the Cloverleaf? Yes or no?
Different.
Okay.
Does have a basement. No, it's. Obviously it's more nostalgic on St. Patty's Day for sure. They probably make 6 months of business on St. Patty's, but
yeah.
It's a good bar. It's but Clover is right by my house or where I grew up at. So that was always a family bar.
If I asked you to rank your top 5 Irish bars, could you do it? Being a name with Bobby Finn, you should have some Irish favorites.
I know, but I drink too much. I don't remember shit.
Forget where you were.
I forget I forget what happened. You get overserved all the time.
Do you put your feet up on these tables at Irish bars, or is that like you'll get your ass kicked if you do that?
No, I put my foot up anywhere. Doesn't matter where I'm at. It's funny. My hip started hurting this week. I'm like, is it from putting my foot on the table?
When Bobby drinks too much, ladies and gentlemen, he puts his feet on things. High tables, which I can't even like lift my feet to put my socks on in the morning because I have a bad lower back. You can flip your foot on a table like nobody's business. Like nothing I've ever seen.
Crazy.
Did you like run hurdles when you were in high school or anything like that? Because it's just like.
No, I don't know why the hell it is.
Okay.
That's only one leg really. The other leg won't go anywhere. So it's weird.
How about east side of St. Paul? A lot of Irish bars there. I mean, because Halftime Rec is not considered east side of St. Paul.
Halftime Rec is not east side.
No.
You know, geez.
Italian bars.
I mean, downtown's not considered east side either. So there's not a lot of Irish bars, I don't think. I mean, really, yeah, it's weird.
Good Italian bars.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of Italian bars down on Payne Avenue for sure. I mean, yeah. But
yeah, I can't think of any because Cloverleaf is not right.
I mean, a lot of Irish people at those bars, but not
right,
not owned by them.
Right.
I guess they take advantage of us.
A lot of Irish guys that you grew up with. A lot of like tough Irish kids that you had to like, knock around a little bit to gain the respect. Or were you that guy? You were that Irish guy.
Well, I was kind of
don't mess with
probably
Bobby
king of the Irish, but there was there was so many different nationalities of people I grew up with.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Indian, Mexican, I mean, black, everybody, right? So as far as Irish goes, there wasn't a lot of, in my area, a lot of Irish people, which is weird.
Not like the Marky Marks and
it wasn't
the
Southie,
Wahlbergs
right?
and the Southies.
St. Paul didn't have Southie, right? But yeah, it's kind of weird now that you say that. But
right, we didn't consider it though. Like when we were growing up, we didn't consider like, oh, there's the Irish. I didn't. I don't know. I mean, some people did that grew up in different types of neighborhoods, but I don't know. We
didn't care.
Right. We didn't care.
Everybody was okay everywhere.
Right.
To a point, right?
Right.
I mean, there was different areas of town that you kind of stay away from because you knew. But as far as, just bars itself, that, I think everybody was all right.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Kind of funny. But
well, we do have some good Irish whiskey here today that you went and picked up for us very graciously.
Yeah. Hopefully it ends the right way. Got to bring.
It never is going to end the right way on St. Paddy's Day, I don't think. But cheers! Thanks for the Keeper's Heart.
Yeah. So, what was your story about this guy? You met him at
Keeper's Heart. Yeah. So I'm at this liquor store buying some booze for 50th birthday to an Irish guy, Tom McCormick, right? Irish man. Just got Surdix over here looking for some good Irish whiskey. Like, I don't know what I was going to buy. Like, I'll just stop in the Surdix. They'll have something that's not Jameson, but if there's Jameson, fine, And sure enough, I go over to the Irish whiskey section, and there is a little group of people, and they've got a little, point of purchase display out, and I could smell a marketing person from a mile away. So I just kind of look around the shelves, and sure enough, like they come over to me and they have like, their notes, and they've got a little like barrel with booze on top of it. And I was like, oh, what's going on here? She's like, what are you looking for? I was like, I'm looking for Irish whiskey, actually. She says, oh my God, that's what we do. That's what we make here. We work for Keeper's Heart. Have you ever heard of it? And I was like, no, I have not. And she's like, oh, well, it's the best of American whiskey, Irish whiskey, and the best of Ireland Irish whiskey. In fact, we brought over the head distiller from Jameson, and he lives in Minnesota now, and he makes this. And I was like, really? And the guy turns around, and he's like, his back was to me, and just kind of like spins and like, hello. And nicest guy ever. He tells me a little bit about his story, invites me to the O'Shaughnessy Distillery, which is right over here. He didn't like say, hey, come with me, I'm going to show you a tour. He just said, yeah, you should stop by. And there you go, Keeper's Heart. And I think it's pretty good, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I bought a couple bottles. He signed one for me. He signed both of them for me, one for my buddy and one for me. And I got home and I cracked it open and started drinking it. I don't know if you're not supposed to. When someone autographs a bottle for you, do you like, okay, this is on display only? So then you got to buy a second bottle. And what if he autographs that bottle too? So now you can't drink out of both.
Keep buying bottles.
Right. I mean, he just kept saying like, you want me to sign it? You want me to sign it? It's like, I'm not going to tell him not to sign it.
Right.
But then what do you do with it? You just put it on a shelf and you never get to drink it? I don't know. Like, is this guy how many like collector's items are there from head distillers of places? Yeah.
Good point. I mean, at some point, we're done having babies. So it's not like our buddies are going to have babies anymore, right? But good times can happen any day.
Right.
You don't have to wait for that.
Right.
Pop the cork. Let's go.
Yeah. So I like it. It's good. Thanks for getting some for us. And what do they say in Ireland? Sláinte? Something like that, isn't it?
I don't remember.
Sláinte.
It's there a little while ago. But
I just remember that from a Adam Sandler comedy album where he plays this crazy Irish swearing fisherman guy. Not fisherman. They go water skiing and he chops people up in his boat. So listen to it if you haven't. It's called like the psychotic Donnie Borshesky bit. I don't even know what it is. So listen.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
What do you think about this? I mean, obviously the biggest news story in the whole world right now, right? The Ukraine shit. I mean, it's unbelievable how the world has a bucket of popcorn and they kind of just stand and watching all this shit happen.
It is, especially in today's day and age of like everything's out there, social media, news. I mean, you remember when the Gulf War happened, it was just like you could watch bombs being dropped and Scud missiles being sent and, wolf blitzers on the front line talking about, whatever it is, the war. Now you got like half my TikTok feed is, people from Ukraine posting video of it. It's
kind of eerie. It's
scary,
eerie,
sad, and weird.
I was watching the news earlier, and these guys are doing they're just telling the story, but it's like they're telling the same story they do on the presidential night. This state is voting this way. They're talking about this country that is being overtaken by a country that doesn't give a crap about anybody, right? I mean, it's just mind-boggling to me. And there's speaking of Ireland, I went to Ireland to meet with a company for my real job, and met with a lady, and she's from Ukraine. And I sent her a text message, or I sent her an email a couple weeks ago, and I just said, "Hey, I'm thinking about you and your family. I hope all is well." And I got an auto office reply. She's gone. And all it says, get back to you whenever I can. And it said #stand with Ukraine. And I'm just like, oh my God. And then she replied back to me about a half hour later, and she said, "It's surreal. My mom's town was bombed and my brother's going to fight." And this is somebody I met.
Yeah.
And this is real. And it's so scary, and it's not too far away,
Right.
It's how do we, I know it's difficult, and I know there's so many different complications and from everything, but at the same time, we are watching cleansing of a whole country.
And we're watching just like the lies behind the scenes too of Putin saying, they're a Nazi government and they're lying to you. And they also said that they stand with the U.S. and together they created COVID. That's the other thing that Putin told his people. And you got to hope, I don't know this for sure, but you got to hope those people are getting some, real news, some real
I think
honest.
they are, but if they do anything, they're getting the crap beat out of them.
Right. But did you see that one news reporter? They're like doing the nightly news, and some news reporter came up behind the woman in the news with a sign that said, "No, stop war. Don't believe the lies," something like that. And it was just like, that's ballsy.
Well, you'll never see him again.
Well, it's a female, and she also they detained her, and then they let her go, and they fined her like $5,000.
Really?
40 rubles.
Yeah, I had a buddy of mine. It's funny, I met him through work, and he was fixing computers for my company, and he's from Moscow. I would guess he's probably 70 years old right now. Super good dude. Looked like a Russian Danny DeVito. It was so funny. But I brought him over to my house I grew up in, and my grandpa's there, and my one-legged grandpa that I told the story with, Kinger and Garrity. And so I brought him over there, and me and my grandpa and this Russian guy are sitting at the table, and we're, just talking, telling stories. And he brought his, Russian vodka over. "I'm going to drink you all under the table." About an hour and a half later, he's passed out at the kitchen table. But it's so funny because he's telling a story about if anybody does anything against KGB or, you can tell by their thumbs, he said, because they put their thumbs in a door and they slam the door on their thumbs, and they're trying to get him to talk. I mean, he's like, it's insane. But he said, unfortunately, the United States is turning into what Russia was, or what Russia is.
Just like controlling media, or
just
what?
The government controlling everything. And I'm not getting political because this is not what this is about, but this is what this guy said. He lived it. And now he's telling, and everything that's going on over there, it's just mind-boggling.
It is, and you're like, right, to like see it play out on the news and like, where does it end? And then people are fleeing, of course. I don't know if your friend fled. People are staying to fight. You know, what would, like, think about it. If that came to you, what would you do? Send your wife and kids out and grab a gun and just say, hey, I'm going to hunker in, knowing like they're not, you know, I don't know how it ends. I was going to say, how does it end? Because I don't see them winning that war.
Well, I don't think they win the war, but the problem is, I honestly think if they just run, it's not going away.
Well, they'll take over. They're going to take over that government, right?
Well, it's not going away. So I know it's easy for me to say right now because I'm not over there, but at the same time, I guarantee I would stay. Would I have my son stay? Because he's a big kid. Would I have my daughter stay?
Stronger than you are. I mean,
yeah. Well, like, he hits the ball farther. I don't think he's stronger. But I mean, it's tough. I mean, this is a really, really tough topic, but I just don't think sitting around like eating popcorn, watching it. Yeah, here's some new drones. Here's this and that. I'm like, what are we playing Risk here?
Well, right, and
you know,
Biden keeps saying like, well, we do a no-fly zone. We're basically starting World War III. We'll start shooting down planes. We're starting World War III. You know, yes, it's true, but does that need to happen, or does somebody need to put their foot down before it's like? Otherwise, you know, it's not going to end. They're going to take it over, and then what?
They're going to keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, anyways, stand with Ukraine. That's all I'm saying. I think it's shitty what they're doing, and most of us in the U.S. here are backing you guys. So keep up the fight.
Zelensky's a star, isn't he?
Yeah.
What
a story that
guy
right?
has. Holy smokes.
What a story! Did you hear that? He had four. His dad. Or no, his grandpa had 3 other brothers. And when the Nazis invaded, they killed 3 of the 4 brothers.
His uncles?
Yep. And the only one that survived was his grandpa. He's the grandson of that kid.
Oh, really? His great uncle.
So the Nazis are trying to cleanse. Now he's getting cleansed. It's just a weird, I mean, like, come on, give the guy a break.
I love that he and
he's bringing turtlenecks back.
I don't want to make too much light of this, but like, he looks fucking awesome.
Yeah.
He's got this like green.
Well, he's an actor.
Like, he is an actor. I know he is an actor, but he is not acting in this role.
No,
but he is looking the part. Like, I love that he's got it down and he's ready to fight, and he's filming live in front of buildings, and he's got his cohorts with them, and God,
Ronald Reagan would be blushing right now.
Oh my God, everybody would.
Seriously, no, he's what they need, man.
Right.
I think without him and shit, the Klitschko brothers all those guys are just getting anybody from Ukraine ties to come and fight, and good for them.
Right.
But let's go back to
you watch that on the news. What else are you doing with your time? I know our kids play hockey together. They're out.
They are out.
They're done. Some kids are moving on, getting the state tournament, youth hockey, which is fun. But what do you do with your time now? Like, it
doesn't
like it
end,
ends
though.
too fast.
I know, but it starts up too fast.
It does. I make my kid take some time off. He hasn't done anything in a while.
I can't make my kids do anything. They don't listen to shit.
Well, my kid didn't do anything, so now he'll never make the team next year. He's taken 2 weeks off. He's way behind.
He's out.
Lord, what did you do between March 2nd and March 16th? I didn't really do too much. I kind of like healed up. You're done. It's too late for you, bro.
There's no time for you.
Yeah. So what have you been up to? Like, what do you do? Like, with you got your kids still playing, right?
Well, my daughter started up pretty much a week to 2 weeks after it ended.
Yep.
I mean, her new other league started. My son, baseball has been going on for a few months now.
Yeah.
He's got golf tryouts coming up. It just doesn't end. Obviously you got everything else going on, right? I mean, you got work. I unfortunately sold my house in Cottage Grove when I lived down there, and did well. It worked out for me. So my uncle asked me to sell his house. So I just actually sold that today. So it's cool.
God, nothing like having a full-time job, being a realtor, making a podcast, and looking good every day. Right?
Must be a circus mirror.
Right.
No, it's just keep juggling, right? I mean, keep doing what you should do and try to have fun with life.
Did you watch any of the state tourney, the high school boys and girls state tourney?
Yes. Oh my God, it was awesome. It was awesome. I mean, this girls state tournament, it was kind of how it was supposed to be, especially the quarterfinals. I don't even know why they did the quarterfinals. The games were absolute blowouts. But then once it got past that, there were real good hockey.
So I don't want to like diminish anybody, but are there certain sections that get blown out every year, or does it kind of like even out?
No,
here and there?
there are certain sections.
Yeah,
I mean, there are
that's too
some
bad.
powerhouse sections for sure. You know, so it is what it is, and I feel bad for those kids that are in those sections because, unfortunately, the girls don't generate apparently the audience the boys do, so they don't even show the girls' games.
That's too bad.
Yeah, those quarterfinal games. So there's those teams from the kind of the outstate teams, they don't even get to say hi mom or Pioneer
I
Landscaping.
think if you're broadcasting a state tournament, you broadcast the state tournament. I even believe they should be putting the third place game on, the consolation game on. Why not?
Well, I guarantee you can get advertising. I guarantee you can get people to commentate. Guarantee it. I mean, there's people that want to do that all the time.
Right.
So get them out there, have fun with it, and I guarantee we have enough Fortune 500 companies here and other companies that want to advertise. So they could get this televised easily, and I'm not quite sure why they don't do
Right.
it.
What about Channel 45 running reruns of Two Broke Girls? Where are you going to put that?
How many camel toes can you show?
Not enough, according to their sponsors.
Seriously. But yeah, Friends reruns and Two Broke Girls. I mean, God, if I want to watch that crap, I could turn on Netflix anytime.
Well,
I
you
want.
got this once in a lifetime chance for these kids. You got this once a year thing for all of us. You're telling me people wouldn't watch that? You wouldn't tune that on over like the 15th season of Friends? It's just dumb. So I'm all for that. And I'm all for putting more games on TV. It's the biggest. I mean, people talk about this across the country. Like, oh my God.
It's
you see-
March,
Yeah.
right? For 3 weeks in March, show every state tournament we have. Who cares?
Yep.
Enjoy it.
Yep. I even wonder, it'd be interesting to see how many people across the country tune into this. People in Boston, people in Michigan, hockey's growing, hopefully still growing. And it's pretty cool to watch. Buchgrass came out and did play-by-play one game, or did color one game a couple years ago. So I think that's pretty sweet.
Oh, that's awesome. And getting to the boys, right? I mean, Kinger's got his Flocella going. That's fantastic.
Oh, you can't beat the all hockey hair team.
Yeah, it's fantastic. He's very creative. But the boys tournament, wow. I don't know if I've seen a better tournament. I mean, you had the kind of the kid that came out of the gates.
Dude, he came out
I mean,
the gates.
holy cow. I mean, he was everywhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you have, 5?
5 the first game. Yeah. What's his name? Alex
Bump?
Alex Bump. Yeah. And then the team that they played next kind of had them figured out.
Well, the team they played next is a monstrous team.
Yeah. So that was Andover, right?
Mm-mm.
That was Maple Grove. Oh, yeah, that was Maple Grove. And
Yeah.
they bumped him and they hammered him.
The bump.
And then he got frustrated. He landed on top of some kid, gave him a shot to the face. You could tell they threw him off his game,
Mm-hmm.
which, you can take a lesson from every team, really. Like, hey, you got to play tough. You got to play physical. They knocked him off his game, but he was a star. He was the talk of the tourney. He really was. Good luck to him.
He's committed to Vermont.
Mm-hmm.
And the Catamounts. I mean, it's a beautiful area. We were up there last summer, but
You don't like the name Catamounts? Is that like I think it's kind of sweet. I kind of like it.
I
It's kinda
like
different.
it, but I just think his stock was raised so high.
Yeah.
So I cannot believe he hasn't decommitted, but who knows? I mean, who knows what this kid's going to do? But holy cow, he is talented.
Well, that first game was just, he was unstoppable. And then he had 5 goals and he totally set up the other goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty fun to watch.
Great hockey IQ. But yeah, he had a great tourney. I mean, that was incredible.
And best jerseys in the tourney. I think by far the blue and yellow.
Freudian slip.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. That team, and I mean, Maple Grove did what they needed to do against him. Yeah. They have to be one of the biggest teams I've ever seen.
They are, and their top line was money.
Yeah.
So good.
I mean, that one kid's 6'4". That one 6 feet 220.
Is that the kid with the skullet?
Oh my God.
He had the shave on the top and the flow in the back, number 9.
Yeah. He had the skull.
He was a beast.
Yeah. Apparently he's a good ball player, but it's kind of funny. I don't know. Maybe I'm old, but I'm not the skullet. I don't know.
You're not down with the skullet.
I don't know. Maybe it's just taking it off for baseball, getting rid of half of the hockey hair.
Did you ever rock the hockey hair growing up? Did you ever do the Lions? Did you ever do the big mullet? Did you ever?
I was such a goof. I went even further and put a star in the side of my head. It was so dumb. It was ridiculous. I look at pictures and I'm like, what an asshole.
How isn't it crazy how big the hockey hair thing has gotten? Yeah. I mean, congrats to Kinger and the crew, because it is part of the show. I mean, I would even say it's half of the show. Like that first day, it is the entire thing. Like every kid is looking at that camera, flowing it out, doing the caterpillar, got the dual exhaust pipes. It is like awesome. And I wonder what the coaches say about that. I always wonder, like, are they like, oh, calm it down, or are they just like, go have fun and do what you want to do, and like this is your time to have fun? But it's kind of a distraction, isn't it?
It's unbelievable.
Holy smokes!
How about the kid from Hill that
did the
Pioneer Landscaping, caused free estimates? I'm like, they're going away with all the hi mom thing, I guarantee, from now on, because nobody has done that before.
That's the next level.
Yeah, they're not going to.
You watch, they're going to turn off the audio.
Either that, or you're going to have somebody just bleeping it out or whatever.
They're going to turn off the audio on those kids because it's just like too fun.
Thanks for wrecking it, but for Yoakum, good job, man. Or Pioneer Landscaping.
Exactly. No, good for them.
Yeah, funny. That is funny.
It's so good. How about what was I going to say? The regions.
How about that championship game?
It was insane. Yeah, double overtime.
It was the greatest championship game I've ever seen, because there was no slow point to it. There was no boring spot. It was back and forth, fast hockey. When you see 11 goals, you think, God, the goalies had to suck.
Right.
But then you're like, holy shit, they were making unbelievable saves the entire game.
Yeah, it was unreal. Yeah. I mean, it was similar to I don't know what year it was, Duluth East.
Apple Valley 5 overtime game. I mean, guys are like just spent. But I mean, you almost 5 gets to be a lot. Then you're like, all right, these guys can barely skate anymore. You feel bad for all of them. You're like, just stop and give them all a trophy. These guys are just balls out. Yeah, it was great. That 5 overtime game, I was at Grandma's over on 7 Corners.
Yeah.
And the game kept going and going and going. And all of a sudden they said, last call. And we're like, what?
Was it over yet?
It wasn't over. We got booted before the game was over. And then by the time we got home, I'm like, God dang it. But yeah, that was unbelievable. I think there was a Bloomington Jefferson game back in like the late 80s that actually was going to so many overtimes. They called the game at night and started in the morning.
Wow.
Yeah, it was going, I don't know if it was 5 or whatever it was, but they just said, we'll just start in the morning.
Did you see there was a show where, and I don't think it wasn't hockey, it was basketball maybe, where it was like the longest game ever. One team ended up winning, and they brought all these guys back to play one more time when they were like 40. And it was like this, like, hey, let's get back together. And I think maybe the game got canceled because it went so long they just like stopped playing.
Really?
So they brought them all back and they made a movie out of it, and they just like lived out their dreams and they all had fun doing it. But it was like this, like, let's all get back together and let you guys finish the game once and for all. And some of these guys took it really seriously. I think they were maybe 30s, not 40s, but they took it seriously because they really wanted to win.
Let's finish this. Who's the champ, right?
That's great.
Yeah, but speaking of basketball, holy crap, the Timberwolves are on fire, huh?
God, do I have to watch the Timberwolves?
I know.
Is that what you're saying? I tuned in last night for the first time in like 13 years.
It makes me so happy to see LeBron James failing. God, he's such a dick. Ever since that what was it? The decision?
Yes.
Oh, God.
Well, that was his nail in his coffin. Yeah. That's why people never like him like they did MJ.
Yeah.
Never.
Absolutely. But
so the T-Wolves, right? Making the playoffs?
Absolutely.
Okay. And got a chance to make a little run?
I don't know. Why not? But I mean, you never know with this stuff. Teams can be down by 25, and next thing you know, they're up by 20.
Right. But do they have the gun? Like, here's what I hate about the NBA, and this is why we'll never watch it until they change this. They go out and they find 3 of the top 10 players, put them on a team, and that team wins the championship every year. And a couple teams do it. And then if you don't do it, you're out. And these guys, they're smart enough. Like, oh, I played with this guy at AAU and I'll cut my salary as long as we get to play together because we got a chance to win a trophy. I hate that. So, I mean, they do have great players, right? And they've got young talent, but do they have the core of like the big three? And Kevin Garnett ruined it for everybody. Thanks a lot, KG.
Well, I think who was the point guard back then?
On the
Wolves back then.
Stephon Marbury?
Yeah, when Marbury had to leave because he wasn't the man, I think we would have had that team. I mean, because we had Gugliotta was a really good player. So those three were
Googs. Shout out to Googs.
Yeah, no, he was. I mean, that was a good team.
Would you say that this is the first podcast that Tom Gugliotta's name has been put on air?
In Minneapolis, St. Paul, yes.
Were you thinking that like nationwide?
Ohio and March Madness. I mean, yeah, you'd probably in somewhere.
Sorry, I cut you off.
It is March Madness. No, it's gosh, that was fun back then.
So here's something else I want to talk about. Kids are done playing hockey, right? We got the state tournament going on. Now we start the summer grind, right? How much money can you possibly spend on kids continuing to do sports day after day after day? I mean, I don't know how you afford it. I was talking to my buddy the other day and he's like, what are your kids doing for the summer? I was like, oh, my son's playing hockey. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm just getting over the grind. I go, oh, your kids play hockey too? He's like, no, my daughters do dance. And I was like, and that's expensive? He's like, it's ridiculous. The costumes and the wardrobe and the trips he's like, at one point we went down to Florida. They didn't even tell us how long we had to stay. So we had to keep booking hotel rooms because it just went on and on and on. And it's just like a money pit. Like, how do you afford it as parents? Like, I feel like, all right, I'm at a good level in my life. I can get it. I can afford this. Like at some point I'm going to run out of money. I
don't get it. I mean, we're in the same boat. And I'm like, every week I'm like, what's next?
Mm-hmm.
Every day. Like I talked to a guy today. Yeah, well, just give us $700 and you can come for the next week. I'm like, Jesus, where's it coming from?
Right.
But I don't know, man. Everything is so specialized now and everybody's a genius at it. I mean, they're the best of the best, right? It's so different than when we were kids though, because it's not like there's only a few people that knew what the heck they're talking about. I truly believe, there's a lot of people that know every sport.
Right.
So you don't have to go to the most popular person to understand how to skate.
Sure.
And technology, obviously, you got YouTube, you got everything else. It's a lot easier to teach kids now than it was back then.
Right. Yeah. I just, at some point, it's just got to stop because there's just time. And the other thing is,
equipment. Cripes.
Well, yeah. How about if you and I started some like kids league something where we can just make a shit ton of money on people who like teach your kids how to play pickleball, or I want my kid to be the world best, like, and I'm terrible at this, but the freaking Rubik's Cuber, like there are people who will pay for that. They'll be like, I will give you $200 a day if you teach my kid how to be the world's best freaking Rubik's Cuber.
I'm convinced you can't teach somebody to do that.
I've heard if you want to make a ton of money, you either start a sport or you start a religion.
Oh, I was watching Family Guy. This is a little while ago, but he started the Church of the Fonz. And so then he could get all the government subsidies. Mm-hmm. And then they just go there and drink and watch sports. It's fantastic. They just walk in and they go, hey. It was great.
That was the way to get in?
That was the way to get in.
Oh, my God.
No, it was great.
Yeah, so we got to start that. Let's put that on our list. Yeah, I don't know. What else you got, buddy? We got a good story for me? Like, we got to get some like East Side out of you. Like, we got to like pry some of those good like East Side stories out of you some more.
Well, it's funny. I was thinking, I was talking to because my daughter's a sophomore, right? And college stuff's going to be coming up for sports, and I was thinking about when I went to take my ACT. So I lived on the south. I lived on the south side.
Did you take the ACT practice test and then get a tutor for the test and then do the test and then do another test like the kids do these days?
I've never taken
like 9 shots at it with the tutor and everything.
Any pre-test on anything ever, right?
Right.
So I said, hey, Mom, I'm going to take this test. I drive up. Or no, I get dropped off because I think my car was broke or I didn't have a car or something because I'm poor as shit. But So I got dropped off at Harding, and I get there and I'm like, oh my God, I forgot my paperwork on the counter. So my buddy has this little red Colt that
How long until the test is going to happen?
Probably like 10 minutes. And I live 5 miles away. Like, honest to God, it was like coming up. If I wasn't there, it's over, right? So I get in my buddy's car. I go, give me your keys right now. And I got his keys. He's got this old beat up Colt, this tiny little red car. I was going down 61 about 100 miles an hour. This thing, I can't believe it held together. It was unbelievable. Got the paperwork, driving back up as fast as this thing would go. It was shaking so bad. And I got fucking pulled over. The cop gets
like, you're just thinking about the clock ticking. And the teacher's like, all right, take out your pencils, everybody.
It was unbelievable. So like the cop comes up and he's like, I started opening the door and I thank God he didn't shoot me, right? But I'm like, officer, I got a full ride to Michigan. If I don't go take my ACT test right now, I lose my full ride. I'm done with hockey. I'm like, oh my God, you got to help, you know.
How long did it take you to come up with this story of how you got into Michigan full ride?
About 100th of a second.
Because it did not happen.
Not remotely close. Yes.
As soon as you saw the cherries, did you start brainstorming?
Yep, here we go. What am I going to come up with here? So told the guy, I'm like, got a full ride. He goes, all right, get back in your car and good luck. So I ran a red light right in front of him to get past, to get up to school to take the test in time. Oh my God, it was so funny.
He gave you the green light to just speed the hell right through that.
Green light to run a red light. Yeah. Oh my God. It was so funny.
And that 16 you got on the ACT was well worth it.
I don't even know if it was that, but thank you, Mesa Community College.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Well, that's great.
Yeah, but no, that was fun, Tommy. That was fun.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess until next time, right? I mean, this has been a good little pod, and I think we wrap it up for now, right?
Yeah, and everybody, hey, thanks for tuning in. And it's funny when I say tuning in, it's like rolling up your windows. Nobody tunes in anything anymore. But hey, thanks for listening to this podcast. It's every week it's going to be about just shenanigans and stories from the past and a lot of sports talk, local and national. And, it's Bobby Finn Knows Everyone, Tom Lord, my sidekick, my, what do you say, the Zuccarello to the Kiprusoff.
Yeah, I'll be your Zuccarello to your Kiprusoff.
That'd be fantastic. I'd get you a longer stick. But no, hey, everybody, thanks for tuning in. It's been a pleasure. Bobby Finn Knows Everyone. See you till next time.
What's your catchphrase?
Don't be a dick.
Yesterday.